well, there should have been 2 emails in the last couple of days with the replays in it.
I haven't received any.
It was kind of odd what I with feedback that I was getting, so I just want to make sure. All right, so if you guys have anything, oh, sorry, I'm out of breath. I had in the right place after all that. Wow,
okay, I haven't received your emails
this morning. I have to tell you, I remember. This was quite a few years ago now, but I remember watching someone else do a live webinar. It was before they were really, really popular, before Zoom. So like there was like, well, maybe the Zoom was around, but it was like early days. And I remember watching someone do a webinar, and in the middle of it, she was all organized. It was very nice, beautifully set up. It was, I think she was in Vancouver for some reason. I think that was where she was. And in fact, I think I know who, I can't remember specifically who it was, but I do think that is somebody that I still follow. So quite interesting if I were to say to her, do you remember that day that you did that webinar live and your fire alarm went off in your house? And she was half like, do I go look and see if there's a fire? Do I leave the house? Do I grab my children? What do I do? Do I stop the webinar? Everything turned out okay, but you know, life happens, right? We get in the middle of all these wild, wonderful things. So, okay, let's get back to the way things should be. So we're recording this. This is day 3, our last day together, and it's kind of the exciting part of it. And I think that's why this morning when I was like tidying up the slides, I was like, there's so much I could say. So hopefully we get them. All right, Eliza, could you if you have an email from me already, right, with the dates and like the link to join me, could you reply on that email? Because I just want to make sure that you get the message. So I'll just reply on that email or take that email address and send it directly from my email and make sure that works. Perfect. That's good. All right. And same with you, Nagata. If you could do, if you didn't get it as well, you can do that as well. All right. So what I'm going to do just before I start is I want to drop in the link to join the staging studio, or the Modern Stager Studio. I have to not call it the staging studio because there's another company called that. So the Modern Stager Studio is this particular membership. So I'm just dropping in that there for you so that you can join and in time to get the bonuses. Okay, ooh, if I could spell bonuses right, that'd be good. All right, and then I'm also going to pop in a link here as well. Where's that going? Where I'm going to copy in the link to book a call with me. All right. So if you are wanting to talk with me and so we can talk about your next steps in your business and how I could help you do that, if the Stager Studio is the right fit for you. I personally think it's a fit for anybody who's a stager because it's full of great information and resources and community. So I don't think that's really an issue, but I have other things and other strategies that I can help you with if you're starting your business and where you're at and where you want to go. All right, so we've got that in there. So you can use those links, and yes, Eliza, if you can just send me that detail, that'd be good. All right, okay, good. I almost feel like I need to have a drink. I have cold coffee here. It's quite disgusting, but it is working. All right, let's go. So do you guys have any questions from yesterday and the day before? Anything that you want to clarify? You can take yourself off mute if you want to. And ask me the question. That's totally cool. Or you can just drop it into the link there, into the messages and in the chat, and I'll answer that too. So if there's anything that you really want to know, or that you want clarification on, or how this fits together, or how you would use it, whatever questions you might have, you want to drop them in, you can do that, or just unmute yourself. Okay, so let's start. Let's go to this. Now, I'm just going to warn you I can hear something upstairs. My kids are home today. It's reconciliation day at school. So the schools are closed in Canada. It's now a national holiday. So they are home and hopefully asleep. That's usually what they're up to. Okay, so let's start. So this is day 3 of obviously 3 days. And this is really trying to get to that place where we know that we're going to win the staging job every time without compromising on price. And what we started out with from the very beginning was that there's a strategy to be able to do that. And so the whole idea of like when you see someone who is like fretting, like in any of the Facebook groups or any communities that you're in, or stagers are fretting about, well, the agent wants me to reduce my price, or I need to charge lower so that I can get the job. And this seems to be like this compromising. And I don't even think it's compromising anymore. I actually would prefer it even to say sacrificing, because when you lower your price, you sacrifice so much, like, you know, your value, your integrity, your confidence, your kids' groceries, paying your bills. Like, you're the last one in the chain, and you lose money and everybody else makes money. So you're losing money for them to make money. So really you're sacrificing. And so hopefully from the first 2 days that we talked about this, it was about recognizing like why that's happening. And then really sort of like trying to make that shift in our own businesses, but also in the industry, that first of all, we don't have to do that. And secondly, to avoid doing that, here are the strategies that you need to do. And the first one is, and we didn't say this, but this is really what it is. Don't market to everybody. And then you won't get those. If you don't market to everybody, and instead you market to the people who are your best fit client, the ones that want what you have, the ones that want how you work and want to work with you, and aren't going to compromise on price, or aren't going to even ask you to compromise on price, you're going to eliminate those people who are let's call them the bottom feeders. It's day 3. We can call them the bottom feeders, the ones that really don't care about your business. They just care about their bottom line. And because of that, if we really focus on what we want to do, what we do that's unique and special, what that's sort of going to put us out ahead of the competition and attract our best fit clients, then we know that we are not going to get those people who are going to want to negotiate on price. I very rarely had someone who would ever do that. And I'll have to say, it was in my early days before I knew any better, that I knew that there was, and I have to tell you that when I had my staging business, like when I was, more to the point, when I was staging in my business, I didn't know these strategies. It wasn't until I went outside of the staging industry and started to see, oh, there's things that I really should be doing, and to keep my head in the sand and think that, oh no, this is how I was taught to do it in my staging training, was really naive. So if I just look back and I imagine, like, if I was using those strategies, if I wasn't trying to market to everybody, if I didn't compromise on price, and actually, if I were really honest, nobody asked me to compromise on price, but when I was pricing, I probably wasn't pricing as high as I could. I still did it well with it, but I could have priced more, should have priced more, but I didn't know any of those strategies. So you're at a real advantage now. Unfortunately, still so many years later, that this should have been happening for a long time, from the very beginning of the industry, really, is that that we really understand the clients that we're trying to attract, and what we're trying to attract them with, which is really a solution that they need. So anyway, here we go. So this is my dog still. He's still waiting for toast. I don't know where. I think he's sleeping with the boys right now, because he knows that he gets into bed with them, and my cat as well will do the same thing. So fun. All right, so just a reminder, the replays, I have sent an email. If you didn't get it, just reply on an email that you got from me, and then it should go into my personal, not my personal, but my not into my CRM, but into my emails, and I can probably do it from there, send you what you need from there. Or you can go into the Facebook group, the Modern Stager Growth Hub. You can go into that Facebook group, and the links will be in there as well. I posted the last 2. They're on YouTube, and but you need the link to watch them. Okay, so you can go in there as well. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start talking about the signature staging offer. And that signature staging offer is what you need now to actually take all the things that we did in the last 2 days and build an offer that attracts those people and reflects your niche, those things that you decided were really special to you, that you wanted to make sure. So in essence, when we talk about that signature staging offer, it really is, and this is something I like a word I want to really get going in the industry. It's not that I'm staging your house, it's that I have a solution for you to get to make more money on the sale of your house, to get your house ready to sell. Now, because really honestly, the staging part of it is like, when we go in and we bring in the furniture and we do the layout and we set up the inside of the house to really to tell the buyer exactly where they're going to go, everything they want to about the house, to engage in them about the house. But that's the staging piece. But the solution can be very specific to your demographic or to your best fit client. It can be, as we've said before, about making more money on the sale, about doing it faster, about I've got to live in the house, how am I going to manage my kids? I don't want to worry about your inventory. Things like that. And so there's like lots of different things that people look at as what they need a solution for. They're not in a panic to have you stage their house. They're in a panic because there's something else that's really honestly keeping them up at night. And if you look at that solution as it's the thing, like the solution, well, let's start with the problem. The problem is keeping them up at night, and the solution is letting them sleep. So having a good night's sleep. So think about it in that perspective. So you start with the problem and then the solution. And so what you do for them in the middle, they actually don't need to care about that if you are the expert and you have the answer for them. They just need to know that you're going to get them here. So that's really very critical when we're talking about the solution. And it's one of the things that is tough in the industry because, as I've said before, and me having a staging training, foundation training program and all that content, we don't talk about in the initial foundation training, marketing your job, marketing your staging service, partly because most of the time you're pretty damn new to the industry. And so you just want to know how to do it, right? So we don't have time and you don't have the bandwidth usually when we're starting out and giving that training. So there's that big piece that's missing is like, we don't need to market ourselves. We don't need to market that we're stagers, and we don't need to educate you on the value of staging always, because realtors really should know that. Although we do need to, that is a piece of our marketing for sure. But the key part is that the client doesn't really care about us. They don't care about how we do it. They just care that we get it done. And so that's where you're going to be thinking about what is their problem, my best fit client's problem, and what's the solution that I can offer, and how do I do it that I separate myself from the competition. So that's really the gist of what we're doing. And then in the end, we're going to talk about how to price it as well. But I don't even really need to do this, but that first quick review is that we don't want to compromise. We don't want to sacrifice anymore. We want to stop struggling to get sellers or agents to say yes to us. And so whatever we design and we've created out of the last 3 days is all going to help you to move the needle so that you are not marketing to everybody with a generic staging. You are marketing to your best fit client who has a problem, and you have a solution for them. And we want to sort of change that language so that it really works for us. And what it really means to us is that we need to make ourselves and what we do irresistible to those that best fit client. And that best fit client doesn't just have to be, it doesn't have to be a seller. Like I know when we're talking about sellers and as our best fit client, we can get more detail from them about, like, because it's specifically that we want to know what their problem is. But the one thing about working with a really good agent, which is who you really want to work with, like one that gets what you're doing, values what it is you're doing, and know it's beneficial to their business. You want that best bet client can be the agent as well. And so when you are thinking about the agent who attracts your best bet client, then you're also thinking about what's irresistible to them is that you're going to serve their clients in the best way possible. Or it could be that you're going to make them top dollar. You're going to help them to list a house so that they can sell it at more, so that they can get more clients. So you want to, so if you know that agents are your best bet client, those are the people that you're pursuing, think of, they're still going to have that same problem. They still need that same problem solved, because that problem is their client's problem. And they, if they're good agents, they also have, like I was telling you about the agent that I worked with, I think on Monday, on the day one, I was talking about the agent that I worked with in the Durham region, who when I was staging, who she worked in a very small, very specific area. She targeted and marketed to empty nesters, or people who were heading to be empty nesters, who had big homes and were downsizing. And so she was very, all her clients were like that. So she was my best bet client because her clients were my best bet client. And so you're just going to add some nuance to that best bet client profile when they're the agents, because they also have reasons for having you, and they also benefit from what you do as well. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Okay. So that's important for us to know. Did I? This one? Yeah, okay. And so when we start, like when we went from day one, we started with figuring out who our best bet client was. We crafted we crafted our perfect niche, which is really like what you're really excited to share with the world, that you know that you can create something that's really unique and special for your clients, and that it makes you feel good. And I'm saying that too, because I was reading something earlier today. When we talk about that perfect niche, I mean, yesterday what we talked about, we went into some quite big detail, you know, like what are your skills, what's your knowledge of the industry, what are your passions, and those skills also then related to the staging that you're going to do inside your business. You want to look at that, and you don't have to fit everything in, and you don't have to make like your niche like really like you don't have to get so detailed in your niche. It's really important for you to know what those details are, but you don't have to get super niched on it. It can be that you work in a specific area. It can be that you work on family homes or rural homes or luxury staging on rural homes. Like you can definitely do better by going deeper, but it's also you also want to make it so that that it's attractive to your agents and your best bet clients as well. And so it's not overwhelming as well. So you don't have to fit every detail into what you do. So just wanted to mention that so that you don't feel like you have to go really deep on that. You just have to feel really good about it. You have to find that thing that like, it's like, that's what I do that nobody else does, or that's what I do even better than anyone else, right? So that's what you want to do, or that in combination with this I do, or, you know, I do this for homes in rural areas that are luxury homes or cottage homes, or, you know, whatever you can build around that niche. Now, the other thing that we're going to do today, though, is we're going to build our signature offer, which is going to reflect those things. It's going to appeal to our best bet client. It's going to reflect our niche as well. So if you remember yesterday, I talked about the 5-part blueprint, and we talked about we realized that what we had been doing around the best bet client and around our niche was actually starting to build our marketing strategy. And what we're doing today is then building in our offer. But I want you to also think about this 5-part blueprint as a framework for you building your business, especially from the beginning. It doesn't mean that you don't have more services that you offer, but it means that you focus your marketing on this one offer. You focus your business around selling this one offer. But if someone came to you and said, let's say this is an occupied offer that you're doing for occupied homes, let's say that that's what it is, then it means that if someone came to you and asked you if you do vacant properties, if you want to do a vacant property, you can absolutely say yes. If they want something that's more than just a package or an offer like this, they want you to curate an offer, which is typically what you learn in your staging training how to do, and they want it to be specific to their property, then you can do that. There's nothing to stop you from doing those other things when you're asked, but it's that you're going to focus all your efforts on one offer that you know really, really well, and can sell well because you're so confident in it and you have that knowledge of it. So that's kind of like what we're doing. So when we're talking about that one goal, that one revenue goal, it's like it's looking at it like, okay, I'm committed to getting to that one revenue goal, that financial goal, and I'm committed to doing it over 12 months. I'm going to use social media to market this one offer, this my signature staging offer. I'm going to do that. And so that's what this framework allows you to do. It allows you to be really super focused on one thing and so you serve the ones and you market to the ones who want what you have, versus spreading yourself so thin and trying to market everything to everybody. So that's what the 5-part blueprint is about. And so I just wanted to remind you of where it fits into our business plan of what we're going to do every day. So as we defined our best fit client, we then know what their problem is, and we know that it needs to be solved. And we also know, because we know so much about our best fit client, because we have defined who that person is going to be, we also know that what we're offering is irresistible to them. And then when we looked at our niche and we crafted our niche, we built our niche around what's unique to you that will separate you from the competition, but that would attract your best fit client. And if you remember yesterday, I said that your best fit client is typically a mirror of you. So if organizing was something that was really important to you, and packing was really important to you, and those are things that you love to do, that you really like to be in control, you really like to go that extra mile for your clients and do things that they don't have time to do, however you want to frame it, then you're typically going to know that if you put that in as your best fit client and have those things that appeal to your best fit client, then you're going to find them, because they're going to be attracted to you because you like the same sorts of things, and the same sorts of things are important to you, and values, this particular values and things like that. So I hope that makes sense, because it really does connect. It's kind of goes full circle, right? It's like you want to have, if you looked at a circle, you want to have your best fit client who wants the offer that you have and is willing to pay the price and sees the value in it. So it kind of goes full circle. It can't do one without the other. And you want to tighten that circle up so tight that you are only attracting the people who want what you have. All right. So that's what crafting that niche is. And then today, we're going to create that signature offer. And what we're typically taught, as we've mentioned before, is a high ticket offer. We don't call it a high ticket offer in the industry, though, because really ultimately we don't typically have any other offers that we give, right? So we only have that signature staging offer that is sorry, my son is up. I thought he'd sleep until 12. But he hasn't, so that just distracted me. I apologize. Typically, like in the industry, there's we only have the one way that we deliver a service, the one way that we quote for a service, which is that we think about the entire property and we put together a plan. We have a strategy. We price everything and we put it into one offer. And it's not going to be the same as any other property's offer, because this is a unique staging offer that we're going to give to them. But the thing is that two things happen out of this. One is that we don't have any offers to give them, so we can't call this high ticket. We just call it the offer and the quote that we are giving our clients, right? But on the other side of that, if if we had another offer, then we could actually call that the high ticket offer, and we probably could charge more for that because we've now set the bar as our signature offer is the thing that we can do in a package that we know the price is the same price all the time. We never have to go to the effort of curating an offer for a job ever again if we didn't want to. But we can still offer that. That's why I say that even though we have our signature offer, and it's going to be, and we're going to do it at a standard price that we want to make revenues from, then we can still say yes to somebody who wants us to curate an offer. We're just not going to market that. So when someone comes to you and says, but I really like this to be, I want my house to stand out, then you can say, perfect, we can do this. And there you go. I have a little diagram that I'll show you that'll help sort of show this. But it is really important to know that the industry doesn't call it a high ticket offer because they don't offer anything else. And you are going to offer something else, which means that you're going to capture a big chunk of market that isn't being served because either people don't want to go through the whole thing of like having a quote created for them and having it staged like it's, you know, a luxury property to them, and instead they just really want it to get staged, or they just really have the solution that they need to get to, and they don't care how you get there, they just want it done professionally and well and whatever, right? So anyway, there's lots of different reasons that people would prefer to just say yes to a staging offer as opposed to a package, as opposed to having an individual curated job. I will tell you that I think this is also part of the problem for interior designers. Because if you're an interior designer or decorator, you're also creating, you're having to price every job. But there are some things that you can do that don't require that. Like my one of the coaching clients I'm working with right now, she actually stages, but she's an interior designer, and her and she wants to create something that is very unique and a sort of done in a day kind of service, specific to where her passion lies. And I think she's going to do very well by that because she's not trying to label herself as an interior designer in this. But she's using all those skills. And so all those skills go into her, fit into her niche and how she markets herself. But it's more about the outcome that she's going to provide for her clients. And therefore, she's now in a position where she has a high ticket offer, and now she has this done in a day offer, which really works for her as well. So really some very interesting things can come out of doing some of these as well. So the other thing is that we are going to only add one price to this. Now, there's always flexibility, but when you create an offer, you're going to think about things like, you know, what do I only, or not do I only, but the market that I want to create this offer for is in let's just say in suburbia, and the homes are all pretty much, the agents that I love to work with, the homes that they list are all sort of 800,000 to $1 million. So they're not luxury, but they're big enough. And we know they're typically 3 bedrooms. They have a family room and a formal living room and a dining room and a master bedroom with an ensuite. So we know what they're going to look like, and we know what generally we're going to bring into those properties, because we can look at if you've been staging for a while, you can look back at your previous listings and know that there was this consistency in what you staged with, what furniture you brought in, what accessories you brought in, how much inventory and the value of that inventory you took into each of those properties, and you can sort of average it out. But given that if you're new, you can still do that, because basically what you're saying is, I want to stage those same homes, and I want to stage those same homes with sorry, now my child just left. So like, where did he go? You're going to stage those homes, and you can decide this, that every living room, if it's a vacant living room, if your offer is focused on vacants, we always have a sofa, 2 chairs, 2 lamps, a rug, 2 pieces of art. And so you know that, and you can do the same thing with an occupied. And so you'll you will have a very standard staging, might not necessarily always be the exact same thing. And that's okay, because there's nothing wrong with you giving a price for the value of you coming in and staging their property, not the cost of you staging the property, but the value that you bring. And then that becomes your price. I know that's a little bit of a, excuse me, a big lesson in in a tiny bit of tiny bit of time, but that's basically what it is. So so the one thing about having that one price and building it into a signature package, a signature staging offer, is that there's no more quoting. There's no more of you having to like create a different price and a different plan for each individual property. You can get quite selective of where you're going to do that staging and where you're going to market that offer, and you're going to market to the agents who also work in that area or who sell homes, because most agents that do well, they are and are busy, they farm a particular area. And so they, in the same way that you are looking at being very specific about what you stage and the size of home and the kind, like, is it occupied, is it vacant, those same things are what they're also looking at in their business as well, because they want to be consistent. The more the dog's back. Once they're consistent and you're consistent, then agents will love that, because they're getting consistency and reliability from you. They know how much every job is going to cost when they're staging a property in I don't know, say Yuccaville. Okay, so every house that they stage in Yuccaville is like under 3,000 square feet, has 3 bedrooms, and I only work on occupied, so the price is 2,800, and your agent can count on that and know that they can budget for that as well. Anyway, that's off point, but the more important point really here is that when you have created a price, then, and you have this package and you know what goes into it, you can talk to it like crazy, and you don't have to quote anymore, so you're not spending the time. There's a bit of time, and then there's like effort that goes into that, and there's confidence that goes into that, and then worry because you haven't heard from them yet. So there's all these things, but when you know, don't get me started, it's energy sucking, it's confidence waning, and I described it better in this, and time wasting. Like, it's just not fun. So this way you have one price and one service to focus on. I don't know if you guys know Russell Brunson, but he's like big in the online funnel world, like really huge. And he's the leader in that. And I was listening to him talk yesterday after we did our session, and he was talking about the fact that companies or small businesses that do really, really well from the get-go are the ones that know their product intimately. They know their messaging. They know how to talk about it with confidence. They're so consistent, and that's what this will help you to be able to do. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. So this kind of shows you where we serve typically as a result of our training is we serve at the top. So we have that high ticket offer, or VIP, or gold standard curator done for you, whatever you want to call it. That's what we've been doing. That's what you've been being taught, is how to serve at the top. But serving at the top is a lot more effort, and there's far fewer of them who will say yes to you. So we want to capture and get that opportunity of where we're not having to compete with more for one job. We want to get more jobs, and it doesn't mean you're the Walmart of staging. It just means that you have options. Okay, so this can be great for our clients because they get that curated, but not everybody wants that, and it's not always good for our business, because when we look at what I was just saying, there's not as many, and there's much more work that goes into it. Think about that top level as done for you, which means that you're doing everything possible to help the client have their house staged. Now, if we go that step further, what we want to focus on is the one in the middle, so that we're not curating an offer and we're not delivering a high ticket offer, but what we're doing is creating a a signature staging offer that can fill the gap. That means that your clients have choice now. Your best fit client doesn't have to spend $10,000 or $8,000 or $6,000 or whatever it might be on staging and have a they don't care really if it, for the most part, honestly. I think if you asked homeowners really and went back and said, do you want your house to, would you pay more for your house to look different than everyone else's? Would you pay more to have high-end inventory in your property? Would you pay more for a very unique and specific plan to your house, to get your house, to stage your house? I think you would find that at least 50% would say no. And so therefore you have this opportunity in the middle. Just people just want to know that their house is ready to sell, that they've done everything that they possibly can, or that they paid someone to do everything they possibly can. So that's where we want to fit, is in that middle piece, and filling that gap, which then is our opportunity. And if you look at your competition, they're still doing it at the top. So they're still doing that, but you now have found this opportunity, and you are not competing against them anymore, because you are not staging and offering the same thing that they are. You are offering the thing that fills the gap. And that's really what we want. And I think, and I catch myself doing this, although I've trained myself out of it, I have to say, and I had to train myself out of it, to not want to compete with someone else. Do not, like, for me to compete, to look at other training programs that are in the staging world and coaches in the world, I have to really watch myself. Like I try not to pay attention to the details, because I know, and I want you to hear this about yourselves, that I know that I'm not the same as that person. I don't. And even if I saw that they're, they coach, they're staging business coaches, for example, and they were, I would be like, normally I'd be like, oh, they're doing the same thing as me, but they're not. Because their area of expertise, their niche, their skills, their experience, their personality. I mean, like, I know all those coaches, and we are so different. And when we start talking, the things that are priority that come out of our mouths are going to be completely different. So I that's why you want to, when you're looking at the competition, well, don't first, and then also, but look at what's unique about you, and really focus on what's unique about you and not about them. And don't stress about them, because you really don't know what they're going to do, other than the fact that you've just identified that you're going to fill that gap where they're not doing that. It would be like if well, anyway, there's a ton of examples, but this is basically where we want to be. Now, this is our opportunity. It's where we can put our best fit client and find that best fit client that's not being served. And now they're going to be served. And that is our niche, is they're going to be served with what we believe that they need, and we are excited to offer, and we're going to give them the solution and sell them that solution. And we're also going to be able to, because of this, because we know our offer inside and out, and we do it all the time, and we know all the questions and all the hang-ups, we are going to be able to serve our clients even better than we could if we were doing a curated job. We're going to be able to give them choice, because now they could do the curated job if they want to, the VIP version, the high ticket offer. But we are now giving them a second option. So when someone says to you, oh, I can't afford that, then you can say, oh, you know what, I have another option for you. And what actually happens when you have options is that the your lower priced options, or even your high price options, or high ticket offers, are going to anchor the other ones, the other offers, either up or down. They're going to say, oh, okay. And I'll just give you a very quick example. When I worked with a coach a few years ago, and I love her, but she had really evolved and grown her business. When I knew her, when she was nothing, when she wasn't, not nothing, but when she wasn't coaching, and now all of a sudden she had, like, she was so good. And I remember going on her website, and I saw that she would you could pay her or work with her for $100,000 for a year. And I was like, ooh, geez. And I thought, like, how did she do that? And there's no way I can afford that. Like, no way. And I didn't see the value in it either. But then when I went to her next page, I could join her for 5,000 and I could do it as part of a group. And I'm like, oh, I could do that. And so suddenly, like the anchor of the 100, like if I just seen the 5,000, I would have been like, oh, I don't know. But because I saw the 100,000, I'm like, oh, the 5,000 is a breeze. I'm in on that one. And so that's what is very helpful to your clients with this high ticket offer, is that you're offering something else that it gives them more choice, and it's still the solution that they want. Now, I want you to remember too that if this is an agent that you are marketing to, that your best bet client, which is most likely, you are going to, by having this signature offer with one price and like this package that is consistent, that you know inside out, that the features and the benefits are always the same, and your problem that you solve is the same, then you are going to be able to give your agents, because of that, reliability and consistency. Like they are going to know what it's going to look like to work with you. They're going to know what their properties are going to look like. They're going to know more than anything what their budget is, and that they can afford that. And so then hiring you is really a no-brainer, because they know that you're a right fit for them. Now, this is again kind of like yesterday. I went looking for a good quote, because I think it's always easier when it's not from me. But this actually validated what we have been doing and what I've been teaching for the last sort of 24 months. Your signature staging offer allows you to showcase your unique expertise. I inserted signature staging offer. Allows you to showcase your unique expertise and skills, and why it's called a signature offer. It's based on the transformation that your ideal clients want to experience. So it's everything we said. So what goes into your staging offer that's different from what you already do? So this is important, because, and I hope I get these right, and please ask any questions if you as we go through this as well. Okay, so the first thing is that when we think about what we include in our high ticket offer, is that, or any offer actually for the most part that we would create for staging but we're going to actually go in and do it, is that we're usually including the cost of rentals, or the cost of design, the delivery, and the installation. And we can say in there also probably labor goes into that as well. But that's all at our end, right? That's all the things that we do. And so when we do this, and this is one of the challenges of doing a high ticket offer, and is that we look at the things that we are being paid for. So trading hours for dollars. So I can't charge for staging unless I go in and actually do the staging. So your clients, you don't get paid until you've done it. And so the challenge is that there's always a fee for service, but this service has to be delivered. And we've always felt that we had to then, like we would create, how many hours, we can estimate how many hours it's going to take us, how much the delivery is going to cost, how many, and installation would be the labor on the day of, right, staging. So you have those numbers, and that gives you the cost. And we always look at the cost as like that's the be all and the end all. But what we wanted to look at in a signature offer, in a sort of a package that we've created, is not we want all those numbers to be in there, but we want the value of the job as what it means to the client to be more than that. So it's about including all the costs. And I will say this, like, hear me loud and clear, that staging and pricing your staging is about taking all the costs to deliver that service, including all the overhead costs it costs you monthly to deliver in your business, and then adding profit, and then really thinking more out of the box about what is the value to my client. Okay, and so these are the things that we kind of look at and itemize these, and then price them, and then fit them in. And that's what we charge, but we need to do more than that. This is not enough. We want to think about the value. So when you're thinking about what goes into that signature staging offer, you want to think about everything that makes the service a success for your client. So that means the things that are outside of that day that you came and staged. It's more than that. They don't get the delivery and installation and the rentals. They don't, they might get their rentals and they might want to see your list and don't ever show it to them because that's up to you. You are the expert at this. But we also want to look at the things that make it that go beyond. Like when you think about going to a restaurant and someone really serves you well. Like I was in a McDonald's the other day, and I mean, I don't go into a McDonald's very often, but it is so changed. It's like almost like you could just, it would just spit out a bag for you with, or a tray with you for your food. You don't see anybody. It was so bizarre. And I look at that and I thought, I wonder like how long that's going to last, because one of the things about McDonald's and one of the reasons you want your kids to work there is that they learn and understand the value of customer service, of like processes, automations, all that sort of thing. And when there's nobody there, it's, I can't imagine it doesn't wreak havoc. But anyway, so you want to think about what more would make this service like so much better for your client. And this is sometimes when you start looking at where the gaps, where and thinking about those as opportunities, but those gaps of, you know, I get calls every time from all my clients about like, well, I don't know what to do now, or I'm in a panic, or how do I do this, or I can't find someone to do this, and like all those things. Those are opportunities. There are opportunities to automate ways to stay in touch with them. Like if you like, one of the things about staging is that that there's always this battle about, and some stagers want this and some don't. Can the clients be there when you're staging? I personally hate it because it makes me feel very uncomfortable. It makes me feel scrutinized, which you know really comes down to an awful lot of other things that you would feel that way. But I didn't like it, and also too, like with my team, like when I was staging in my business, I also had I mentored a lot. So almost on every job I had, because I was training as well, I would have students come out on jobs with me, and so I took longer and I was teaching. And but other times, like you're throwing the pillows, and I don't want them to see that. I don't want to see them like up there judging how we packed up there, or we felt we had to put some things away, or you know, watch our language and stuff like that. That's just me personally. So, but that happens a lot. And there's often this question of, well, how do I get them to stay home or to stay away? Like, how do I do that? It's their house. And being in touch with them, communicating with them regularly, and making sure that doesn't become an issue, because they know, because you're super clear. Like you text them 24 hours ahead and said, just FYI, don't forget, you're not supposed to be there, or don't come until the big reveal at the end of the staging. You know, this is really important, whatever. So having those things about like staying in touch, emails that introduce them to the consultation that you're doing and what you're going to do, like doing your marketing and your sales ahead of time, so that when you get to a consultation, you don't have to spend your time explaining what this is all about and explaining what, and trying to like win them over, when you could have done it in 2 or 3 emails ahead of time, showing them your portfolio before. Why wait till the day of the consultation, things like that. So there's this whole idea of what can I build out around my business that really works well? So if for you, customer service was something that was really key, and you really enjoy that. And I was telling you, my husband is like fanatical about customer service. He ran, 24-hour gas stations for years, and he had, I think he had 50 staff, and a big chunk of them had been with him since he opened 15 years ago, and they moved from site to site with him. And it was because, for him, it was not just, it was customer service, but it was combined with a real respect for his team. And we don't all do that, right? We don't think that those things are important, but start thinking about what's important to you when you're buying something or when you're being served. Like you want to be in the loop, you want to feel, and maybe sometimes you don't, maybe you just want to come in and do it. And that's totally cool too. But it's like filling those gaps. It's also looking at, the extra services that you can do that are above and beyond. So if you have you do occupied staging and you know your clients need help packing, and you can either have a team that goes in for 4 hours and does complimentary packing, and you pack all the key bits, or you have like a guide that helps your, or video, DIY video to help your clients pack what needs to be done and what in what order, or they have a checklist or a booklet to work from that helps them to help you to get this job done as well. So you can think about that in terms of organizing, painting, the support you give, the packing you give. And if we talk about like renos, like, you know, if being a builder or doing renos or painting a property and things like that, those are all sorts of things that you do. Think about how you're going to make that work. Think about how technology is, I mean, it has made things like happen instantly for us, but it also, if you don't take advantage of what technology could do for you and create, like this is all done, this slide deck, it's all done in Canva. And I teach how to use Canva because my background is a graphic designer for years and a content creator. So I can, now don't judge me now now that you look at it, but and brand design as well. So all those things I know really well. So if I'm like working with you a one-on-one and we're coaching, I get to give you access to all the things that I have. And what I have is specializes in more around things that are tools or checklists or booklets or, you know, branded pieces that help support your team. So that's something that I can very specifically serve. And that's kind of what you want to think about in your services. So it's my skills, it's also my passion, it's also my interest, right? So it's also the thing that I know that I can make a difference for my client with. So in that also too, in that signature offer, you're going to look at what's unique to your solution to their problem, which was going to be your very specific signature skills that, like, as I said, that, you know, as a trainer, it can be my marketing and my communications. I had a new client come on a couple of days ago, and then she quickly asked me, should I go and get this Canva training? I'm like, you don't need to do that. I've got a Canva training that I can, I'll compliment to you, and you can watch that and ask me any questions, and, you know, whatever. So when you talk about those skills, a lot of times I find in the years I've been training that stagers forget that they had a whole nother life or two before they got to here. And that skill, that experience absolutely influences what you're doing going forward. And it's a crime if you don't let it do that. So that's why, you know, when you're looking at your niche, you want to go deep because there's a lot you bring to the table. Okay. So, and actually, even as I'm talking about my husband and the customer service and team management and HR, he loves that, and he doesn't realize like that's his superpower, and he cannot get that through his head. And we've talked about doing various businesses together, but that particular piece is like, but you're a gem at this. And he's like, yeah, and he doesn't get it. So one day he'll figure it out, and he'll be a millionaire. So we're just waiting for that one. But when you're thinking about that solution, you want to think about the skills that are really valuable to you. You also can think about those formulas. Remember yesterday we talked about how you can brand a formula of yours, or a strategy, or a process, or a system. You can do that and make them all yours. Like, well, we talked a lot about that yesterday, but also then about having checklists and booklets and also realizing, and this is a thing that I find that I really want to make happen for people who are hiring a stager, a homeowner, is the recognition that they don't do this very often. They probably haven't done it. If they had a stager, it was years ago, and most people are in their house for 7 years before they sell again. So it's been a while. It's changed. How can I make it better? How can I make it more comfortable for them? What do they need to hear from me? What processes can I support them in? Like, there's so many different things that you can do that stagers don't do. Then we add in that customer service as well, and also making sure that the things that are part of your niche are actually standing out inside this offer as well. And then I'll tell you honestly, all this stuff that we talked about, it's all really going to be the foundation for your marketing. Like all the work that you've done about who you're going to market to and what your niche is and what your offer is, that's marketing. That's all your messaging is now done. So when you go to do your marketing, it's like all there for you to pick out. You know what the features are, you know what the benefit is because you know the solution that you're solving, you know what your client wants. So it really it really defines your marketing really easily, and you don't have to stray from that. And yesterday we talked about it keeping you focused. 100% it keeps you focused. So this is just a quick summary of the pricing, and you can take a screenshot of this if you want to. But the pricing is basically there are three parts to it, or three levels of pricing. So the cost is what it costs your business to deliver it. And that's why we do those calculations of how many hours we're going to do, and why it's not to your advantage to just guess. Why it actually, if you have to pay labor and you have to pay warehouse fees and you have to pay delivery guys, you've got to know what the costs are, and you've got to build them into your price, which is what your clients will pay you for. They're going to pay the price, which includes your like once you get the cost, like really ultimately, once you've got the cost locked in, let's say it's $2,000 for you to deliver this job, then the price can be anything you want it to be. It can be like, let's say it's $2,000, your price could be $5,000, because if your clients see the value and are getting what they want out of the service that you're offering, then it doesn't matter if they are getting $5,000 value out of it. If they feel like, oh my goodness, I could never do this without her, then that's the value. So your price can be whatever you want it to be, just as long as it's more than the cost, and it includes your profit as well. And then obviously there's the value and what they get out of that. And one thing that you want to do, and that probably should be in brackets, is that you never want to assume that someone won't pay more for what you're offering, because sadly, well, not sadly, but actually good, is that there are people who will pay $7,000 for your staging, but they will never pay $1,500 for your staging, because they'll look at what you're offering and go, well, how could it possibly be $1,500? Like I'm not paying that little. I want value out of what I'm doing, and I'm going to get that if I pay $7,000. So it's important for us not to judge on what people will pay or not pay, and to build your price on what the value is that you are going to deliver, what your best fit client thinks is value, and what your price is, what it costs you to deliver. All right, so let's see how AI can help us with that. So we're going to use ChatGPT again. Hopefully it works a little bit better than it did yesterday, and see what it can do for us. Now, I already created a description. Oh, it's still there. And I just did this really fast this morning, so it's not when my internet came back up. So that description is you want it to be as unique to you as you possibly can, and as unique to your service. And you can also, and I will see if I can do this in here if I have I'll find a sort of prompt. But basically, you're going to want to say that, what was I going to say? Oh, I went out of my head what I was going to say. You're going to have this description of what it is that you want to offer, and you can get more detailed. So you can get a description from a quick paragraph, a couple of liners, say, I want to offer a signature staging offer. I want to do occupied staging. And you could get, in fact, actually, why don't we do that? Why don't we just see what it says? I want to create an offer for staging that is for large luxury vacant properties. Can you write an outline of what this would look like? Oops. and a price range. Actually, let's just leave it like that for the moment. Could you earn an outline of what this would look like? Okay, let's see what it says.
The chat is not showing.
See how fast it does it? Like I guarantee you, none of us could write it this fast, and none of us could come up with like content this fast either. Okay, signature staging offer for luxury vacant properties. So it gives you an overview of the service, how long you could take, how much it could be, and then the goal is to transform vacant luxury property into show-stopping homes that appeal to high-end buyers, helping the home sell faster and for top dollar. And then the target market. And so here's the thing though, is that we want to get tighter on our target market because we're going to look at our best bet client. So then our goal, which would be like our solution, might be a bit different. This might increase or be a bit different, and this might change. So, and also we can get into an awful lot more detail. And then we have it broken down. So overview of the service, and then
we don't see the
property
window.
assessment, that could be your consultation. You know how I hate the term consultation because I don't think it's enough of what we do. We bring so much value. I mean, honestly, if you didn't do anything else, but you just did a consultation and a really good one for a client, my goodness, you could just, you bring so much value to them.
Yes.
But don't get me started.
Okay.
Proposal,
Computers, I
and
don't
then
think.
customer furniture and decor selection. But you can see how they've described it differently, right? And even here, they've used curated artwork, lighting, rugs, and accessories to elevate each space designed to enhance the property's value. Now, you don't have to go with their wording at all. You can change it you can change it to whatever you want. But this is really just to sort of set the stage and go, oh, wow, look how they describe that. And how many stagers do you know that describe the services that they deliver like this? They don't. And you don't have to get a detail because we don't want people to itemize what we do, but we want them to see value, right? But you can see where there's these now. I'm doing marketing. I'm assisting with the marketing. There's VIP services and white glove service because it's high ticket offer. We have results and client benefits and things like that. So anyway, so you can see how that works. Now let's just say, I'm gonna grab my other one here. Okay, let's try this one. And we're gonna copy that in here. And I'm just going to say,
can you hear us?
You change that offer to reflect?
I don't think so.
That I love serving young families. Okay, that should be. See what it does. And it'll say, no, Catherine, we can't do that. Oh my goodness, you guys can't see this, can you? I'm so sorry. Now, hopefully you can see it. So we'll just go back up and look at that for a sec. Here, I'm going to go back up so you can see this. I'm so sorry I wasn't even paying attention. There you go. Okay, so basically what we did was the original was that we created that offer, and that's what the offer looks like. Okay. So it broke it down into areas with the list. Then we went and we added in here. Now oh my goodness, I'm thinking of ChatGPT as a he. This signature offer would position you as a premium full service stager for luxury properties, where your attention to detail and high quality design make properties stand out in the luxury market. Now, I will say that for the most part, what AI wrote or ChatGPT wrote in here is a high ticket offer for luxury staging, but it's not really unique, right? It still doesn't have those nuances. So then we added in here, can you change that offer to reflect that I love serving young families who are going to be living in their home while their house is on the market. I offer renovation services to all my clients included in the price, like painting. I also have a cleaner coming in, organizing a packing service. I do this for all my clients. I love to get them to help me with this. I give them checklists I'm known for my customer service. I like to think that I help families make the process more bearable. Can you create the details of what this offer would look like and how to describe it? Please include a price range. So basically what I've done is I've taken like what might be my niche or the things that are important to me, and I put it in and so that it attracts, he can I did it again. AI can create the offer and share that. So this one is signature offer for young families living in their home during sale. And actually, you know what? I'm just going to go over here because I tried this out earlier. I'm going to just share what it looked like with the whole thing. So I loved the fact that it called it the family home transformation package. And it could also be transition package or something like that, right? So if we go with this one, it says the comprehensive staging and preparation package designed to alleviate the stress of selling a home while living in it. So this is their problem. This is the thing that's keeping them up at night. And so the rest of this is the solution that we are offering them. So when they see that that's what your effort is to alleviate the stress of getting your house ready to sell or getting on the market, and that's one of the things that you do, then they're like, oh my God. And so that means that, for example, in your marketing, your pictures would be of, like you could use images of homes. Like when I'm doing any of like the stuff that I do with stagers, I don't usually typically do an awful lot about homes. I like my photos and my graphics are really about women and women, happy women and women working and women enjoying what they're doing. And because that's what they want, is to be enjoying their business, not necessarily the staging specifically. Although we do include those pieces, but the focus, you can see that the focus is on what they want, not necessarily what you think that they want. We focus on creating a market-ready, beautiful home without disrupting your daily life. With our support, young families can confidently put their home on the market, knowing it will stand out to buyers. So all of a sudden, like you've like created an offer that really works for the client, your best fit client, and also it makes it really easy to talk about and really easy to add more to it and to not necessarily go out of the box on that. So we have includes services like the home assessment and customized plan, renovation and updates, including painting, freshen up key areas, minor repairs. Will also oversee coordinating timelines. And they haven't necessarily said project management, because project management could, for your client, feel like, oh God, someone's going to be watching this. But when it's just how you word it and how you define it, right? A cleaning service, professional deep cleaning of your home, and that doesn't have to be something you do, but it might be something that you always insist on all your clients, and it's just part of the service that you offer. Organizing and decluttering, and you can change that. Like we don't like to use the word decluttering when we're staging, but it can be like, you know, something that you could use a bit differently, like well, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe you guys can. Hands-on, take out that decluttering and use something else. And then packing and pre-move preparation, and we'll send our team and they'll do this for you so you don't have to do it. So you can, these are the features, and then, but the benefit is that it's all done for them, that they don't have to be involved with it. And then the final staging is full home staging using your furniture and accessories plus select pieces from my warehouse to enhance the home appeal. Now, I didn't write any of that in there, so I find it very interesting that it did that. Fast turnaround to get your market ready within a day, ensuring minimal disruption. And I would also add to that, you know, our whole effort to stage the property to create minimal disruption includes the amount of time on the market. We've staged and done all this work in an effort so that you are not sitting on the market too long and going with distress, right? And customer service excellence, because I really believe in serving my client in the best way possible. Our goal is to take the burden off your shoulders while providing a personalized experience. We'll be there every step of the way, making the process as seamless as possible. So maybe in that process, you have a direct contact that in your business that person can connect with. Or I don't know if you guys use Voxer, but You can use Boxer or text, or so they can have an ongoing conversation. And the thing about this is that you could have that person not necessarily be a team member, but could be a virtual assistant that does this for you. That could be anywhere and answer those questions anytime for you. And there can be sort of stock answers. There can be like, oh, let me get back to you. Let me talk to Eliza and find out what the strategy is for that. You know, so it's this idea that they have somebody, that a connection that makes them feel like it's that they're supported, right? So, and then the pricing is for this full service depends on the size of the home and scope of the work, but typically ranges between 7.5 and 3.5, and so whatever. So, and payment plans are installment options. So this is also, I think, where I personally really believe that stagers could really separate themselves from the pack. And I'm just going to go back to this. And they can really separate themselves from the pack, and they can make the opportunity, they can give the opportunity to, like most stagers, and you know, I've done this as well, and did for years, that we get paid upfront before you actually stage, and that's because there's a lot of money that's gone into the staging, into getting it ready, and you want to make sure that you can pay your team. And also too, a bulk of work that happens is before staging, right? So that being paid up front is important, but there's also this option. I mean, like, you think about, you know, you're filling a gap. What if that gap is one of the reasons people don't spend $7,000 on a staging job, or $10,000, is because they can't pay it all at once. And when they're asking for it to, we're insulted when they want to pay a close, but we also know we're insulted because we know that it's hard to, if we don't, not always guaranteed payment when that happens. But one of the things I can tell you from working in the online world is subscription payments and payment plans are absolutely fine, and they work all the time with your client when the arrangement is between you and your client. And it really, and you make it so that it has nothing to do with close. It's about making their payment. So you can do it so that they pay 50% up front, and then over the next 2 months they pay the balance in 2-part payments. And you can customize that for every one of your clients, and it's something a VA could do for you. You don't necessarily have to do it, and it can be done for each of your clients. So I think that's another way of serving your customer well, understanding their needs, knowing what they can do as well. So let's just go back to this. Okay, so that's how. Now, did I do everything in there? There was something else. I know one thing I wanted to just, I'm just going to go back to ChatGPT for 1 second. And now I'm going to say, I wanted to ask it, maybe I'll go back to this one over here. I'm going to ask it to, can you price this? This is the other one that we looked at. Can you price this offer and suggest some names and see what it comes up with. Now, this is the one that I did this with you guys this morning, all right? So its pricing structure would be, so it gives you 3 options. Where it's a base package, a standard package, and a premium package. So really our premium package, like what we would want to do is just have one price. So maybe we can ask it, and then some suggested names. No, I don't like centric, that sounds silly. Move-in ready, or family's home sale success plan. To me, that sounds really good. The live while you stage package, the stress-free home staging solution. So you have these offers and names of offers that you can do. And I'm going to ask you one more question. If you could give one offer with one price, I'm going to say, knowing that there's another high ticket offer. Okay, so if we could give one offer with one price, knowing that there's another high ticket offer available, what would it be? So there you go. So the stress-free family staging package, comprehensive in-home consultation, full service renovation, decluttering and organizing, packing service, professional staging, cleaning service, ongoing support, post-sale destaging. And why families love it, which is the piece that we want them to know, is that it's stress-free. You handle everything for them. Livability, it remains, they can still carry out life as they always had. And customer service, you're known for exceptional care and you'll guide your family through that. See, isn't that cool? Now, one thing I'm not quite sure how to do it in here, but let me just think. One thing that you can also use AI for, actually, maybe I'll do it anyway. Hang on a sec. Can you guys see that? I'm not sure if you can. I don't know what it did. Oh, I know. Okay. I'm just going to go back to this one second. I think I accidentally got you out of. All right. So another thing that you can do is use AI to help you create a title for a process. So if you have like a system that's unique to you, like for example, my 5-part blueprint, I could go into AI. Maybe I'll do that. And I could say, let's start a new one and say, I want some suggestions for a name for a new process or formula. Teach my client, staging client, my clients. I'm just going to say this. I have no idea what this is going to come up with. See what it says. I want some suggestions for a name for a new formula that I teach my clients how to build their business. And all of a sudden, it spits out 10 different things that I could use, like the more formula. It knows that isn't that cool that it knows me? That You Are Meant for More is my coaching that I do. And so the more formula actually really works. The Staging Success Blueprint, the Business Build Formula, Prosperity Path, the Empire Builder Formula, which I have another program called the Staging Empire Builder that I'm just sort of getting off the ground. And so now it's told me. Now I'm going to ask it, let's say the Staging Success Blueprint. I do want you to know that even though I'm using all this, I do have a brain and I do all this myself, but I just find it so fascinating because for me it's a jumping off point, right? Can you expand on a formula called the Staging Success Blueprint? See what it says. Isn't that so cool? All right, so there you go. So that is what is really very cool, I think, about doing that. Now I'm just going to go back to the presentation because I have a couple of things I want to share with you. So now that we've looked at that and we know how AI can help us and all those cool things, let's look. All right. Now, here's what I kind of call this my secret strategy, although it's quite common well, I don't even know if it's that common. I don't know if people use it to the extent that I use it, but the Stager's product pyramid. And this will help you to sort of visualize where your offer goes. So before I had like the red cups, right? And there was sort of in a pyramid and we talked about at the top was the high ticket offer. And you can take a screenshot of this if you want to as well. This kind of gives you this place to fit what you're doing into. So if you think about that high ticket offer as you're done for you, your most expensive, your curated service, the I'm going to white glove, whatever. So think about that as you're done for you. And I'll be honest with you, you can use this pyramid for anything that you do, for any business and product that you're selling. So Eliza, like you could use this for your interior design. If you are doing something different, it just sets out and positions your offers and helps you to see how you are going to move your clients through your business. So one of the things to think about is that no matter what service you have on this pyramid, it's the end result is always the same. So if it's done for you, the end result is that they, in terms of what we were just talking about, that a family can live in their home while it's staged and it sells really fast. All right, but you're doing everything for them. And the done with you version, which would be where we're looking at a signature package that you can actually formulate to be consistent and reliable and to have to do the same things, and so you don't have to curate an offer every time. That could be potentially a hybrid of a DIY and a done with you, but it really works well with a done with you. So part of what we were looking at in that package that we just had that just came up with ChatGPT was the done with you version is that they are doing some of the work as well. So you'll do some of the packing, or they do the packing with you, and you do 10 boxes one morning with them, and between you get that done. Or you're sharing like processes or a tip system or checklist with them. That's part of the done with you as well. So you're thinking that, and so that is going to be less expensive. And then when you get to the bottom of the pyramid, you can have 2 offers, but you want to have more than one, but you can have 2, you can have 5, but you don't really need to have more than 3. And especially if you think about it this way. So last one is do it yourself. And maybe you've written a book that they can follow to do it. Maybe you've got like a DIY program that you've done that's just a series of videos with some checklists. That you can just sell to them, and they go and do it themselves, so they get themselves ready. So you can see where it's like it has done for you, done with you, and do it yourself, and so where the price changes. And you can also see how they're all going to get to the same result in different ways. And you can also see if you have taken any training which is what I teach is around using good, better, best, you can see how it's just changing if it's the best package, the better package, or the good package. And there you go. So that is the pyramid, which I love. We don't really need to look at that except to say this 5-part blueprint, or maybe I should call it the more success plan or whatever, is what is also built into the Modern Stager Studio. So in the new membership, this is everything that we do kind of ties back to that 5-part blueprint. So, when we talk about the offer that we just did today, the marketing strategy that we needed to know who the best fit client was and what our niche was. We need to know what our revenue goal is for a year. So, and we need to know that we're committed to a year to being able to do that. So everything that you see inside the Modern Stager Studio is built around that. And in particular, when we talked about in the last couple of days about the 90-day sprint to staging revenues, this is where we actually do the work to build your business and bring it back to that 5-part blueprint so that you have that focus around building your business, so that you're not spreading yourself too thin, so that you become really focused in that few months, so that you are really strategic and you know that you have a plan to get to your revenue goal. So that's what we do in the 90-day sprint to staging, is that we go into detail and we create those things so that you actually in that 90 days are starting to market that and sell it and create revenues in it. And so that is complimentary, that comes with the Modern Stager Studio, but we start on October 15th going live with that. So if you're interested in that, it's a monthly commitment of $47. So there's no long-term commitment. You can buy an annual membership and you get 2 months free, but it really, you get what you want out of it. You take what you need out of the membership when you need it. So it's on-demand training, resources. We do a couple of lives every month to either is it with a guest speaker, or we do staging reviews or pricing reviews, like, and we do coaching in all that as well. So there's 1 to 2 sessions every month that we do, depending on whether or not we have like guest speakers coming in, which I have a couple that I would love to, if you guys are interested in short-term rentals. I haven't asked Amy, but she's done it for me before. Amy Power, I'm sure, will come in. I have another wonderful client that I've worked with, and she can come in about like having an over 5-figure or over 6-figure business into almost 7, and she can talk to that. And she's like keener on processes and systems as well. So there's some like real benefits that can come from being part of this community. It's being exposed to what other people are doing, and also learning and doing those things yourself as well. And there's no, as I said, there's no time commitment. There's no obligation to complete anything. It's grabbing the information and the resources as you need them, when you need them. And if you're just starting out, that is perfect, because part of the program is set up to get you to a place where you can start your staging business, and you can stay in the group and start your staging business and get all the information you need, and you can stay in the group and grow and scale your business as well. So it can be, for a short term or long term, it's going to be like a great resource for you as you go. And right now, the benefit is that you get into the 90-day sprint, which starts on October 15th. But then you also have access to you'll get the 2025 Digital Modern Stagers Planner. I don't know, I didn't mean to put stager. Stager Planner, which I'm not finished yet, but you'll have that available to you as well. Regardless of whether or not you continue after the first month, you'll have access, you'll get your digital copy of that. And also, because until the end of this weekend, you will also get a 1-to-1 60-minute private coaching with me as well. All right, and so that's just a special offer as because you were on this webinar, and because I really appreciate the fact that you've been here and in taking part in the sessions as well. So all really good. So as we said yesterday, this is perfect for you if you want to start, grow, or scale a staging business. If you want to get your staging business back on track, or you want to feel like you're part of a community, or you're really ready to finally reach that 12-month revenue goal. I'd like to say it's 6 figures or more, but it can be absolutely what you need it to be, and that's what it would be all about. And also, if you know you don't want to do it alone, if you know that not only my support and my team's support, but the community of stagers as well, I'm really big on that. I'm not big on having a lot of people like shoot you down or making you feel like you can't ask a question. That is not what this group is about. This is about supporting each other in a community and building up the capacity and the confidence of the industry and stagers in the industry as well. So it's really important to me. Like, it won't be tolerated if there's any of that making people feel bad. Not happening. All right. Now, if you're interested, you can just, I don't know if you can click on this, but you should be able to click on it. The link is in the messaging. You can join today, and you can book your private coaching with me ASAP and get ready for our 90-day sprint, which is going to be starting in 2 weeks on Tuesday, I think, and we'll be all set to go. And also, you can book a call with me. So if you are in a place where you're like, I'm not sure if this is right fit for me, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to get started. 2 things I want to share with you. First is that the Modern Stager Studio is designed to support you no matter where you are in that journey. So if you are in the very early days and haven't taken your training, this is ideal. But if you have questions and you want to know really like what for me are going to be my next steps, like what should I do, just click the link. It's on here or on the messaging, and it's also in the emails that I sent, to book a call with me, and we'll figure it out. And I can definitely help you. I've got the resources for you. But even if you didn't purchase the resources from me, if you didn't join in my training or join the membership, I'm still would love to help you just navigate those steps and what you need to do next to get there. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing that. So that is basically our our day 3 session. So I hope this is really helpful. I hope I didn't, repeat myself too much because I know it's easy. Oh, you're welcome. I'm good. Glad. I'm very glad. There's, this is the thing, and this is why I started the Modern Stager membership, the community, because the studio, because I have found personally, I was saying this to my husband last night. I don't understand why stagers don't want to learn more. Like why, I mean, I've been at this a long time, and I've taught 2 different foundation programs, one for a company that I actually trained with, and then my own. And one of my challenges always when I was creating the foundation training was I wanted to give you everything, and because there is so much, and it's important to me that you get everything. But the problem when I did that was that it's so long. And also too, I know that when you are ready, when you're thinking about being a stager, you're not necessarily thinking about the business side. You're thinking, how do I do it? And so that's the challenge with the foundation training, is like how you do it. But there's so much that happens after you learn that. And that's the part that I hate seeing people flail unnecessarily. I hate seeing, but it's kind of like, you don't know what you don't know. And that's the challenge. And as I was going to say, I hate seeing stagers think that they're failing just because they didn't know that there was more they were supposed to know. And very few of the training programs have next level training after them. And I have been doing it on and off for quite a while and offering it, but I realized that maybe it needs to be offered in a different kind of way. So that's why I've started the membership, is to really, so that you get what you need when you need it, that you can take advantage of the fact that other people are in the community that are in the same boat as you, that maybe are further ahead in their business, as well. One of the things I'd like to do is, if once the membership really starts growing, if I'm in a position where I can see that there are a chunk of people who are starting and a chunk of people who are scaling, for example, or growing, that you can also have like specific circles with which to, or pods with which to really get support and help from other people who are in the same position as you too. But there's just so much, and I want to be able to respond to that for what everybody needs as well in the industry, because I think you should love every part of your business, and part of being able to love it is designing it the way that you want it, and also to know what's expected of that part of it, to know intimately how to make it happen. So, all right. So do you guys have any questions before we sign off? I know we've been at this a good hour and a half now, so I appreciate if you're pooped. But let me know if you want to come off the mic. You can definitely do that, and or pop it into the messages. I'm good with that. All right. Oh, you're very welcome, Eliza. Very welcome. Okay, so I will sign off now, and I'll send out an email later. And Eliza, if you can let me know about reply back on an email, and then I will send you the details as well. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend, and I will we'll talk soon. All right, take care.